whole county actually provide it, and there are probably, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 special schools across the county. So Northamptonshire doesn't really support music therapy in schools or community really. Thomas's Fund is completely a voluntary-led charity, so everybody who's involved with it is doing it for free. Nobody gets paid. The only people who do get paid are the therapists. We started off with one therapist called Esther, who we've now got 2 more therapists, and they started off working just 1 day a week, and now we're up to 3.5 days a week, and we could increase that by much more. We've got a couple more to interview soon, so we're going to hopefully take on a couple more, because Esther's actually going off on maternity, but we can certainly increase it. We'd also like to start doing a little bit of therapy in the children's wards in the hospital, because again that can be quite, well it is, it's a scary place for children and for anybody in hospital, and to have music therapy when everyone's been stabbing you with needles and taking blood and giving you horrible medicines and everything is actually quite a nice, again, a nice experience. So we are hoping maybe in the next year or so to get into the hospital. We were looking at it last year, but then this one flu thing hit, so we weren't able to go in. They weren't letting people in to go and do visits. We do rely on money from the public to support Thomas's Fund, and because there aren't actually that many of us involved with it, it's quite a small, it's a very small charity. We probably need about £40,000 a year to run. We started off thinking we were probably only going to need about 12 or 13,000 based on that one day a week, but the needs are much greater than we ever thought they would be. Fundraising things we do. A lot of people, a lot of companies have done charity fundraising for us. We also need to look at going to children in need and comic relief and those kind of things to get some money. But that's quite a big form-filling exercise with lots of budget requirements and things. So that's something that we've got to look at. NSG do an awful lot for Thomas's Fund, which we are very grateful. I think that's probably it. And the other thing is Harry is a young ambassador, as you probably saw. So he needs to, he's been very poorly and he's not at school at the moment, so he needs to, one of his duties we've decided is for him to find Toms or Thomases who would like to do something for Thomas's Fund. We've had a couple of Toms. One who's done, he actually was called Thomas Smith, and he did a bike ride around Pittsford and raised, I think, about £500. And we had another Tom who did a plant sale, and also the other thing we really would like to do is get celebrities, some sort of celebrities involved to get some, real good profile out there. Again, that's quite difficult. So I'm going to open it up to everybody now to see what questions anybody's got.
How often do the music therapy sessions take place, like for one child?
Oh yeah, once a week, and they last about 3/4 of an hour.
Do you not use sort of like a wide range of instruments, or do you feel like quite restricted?
We do use a lot of instruments. They are quite big and quite bulky, but the music therapist Esther has got a lot of them, and she carries them in a car, and she's got a big piano keyboard. She's got which she uses every time, guitar, that ocean drum, the chimes, a cymbal, and lots of things that actually really make a good sound really easily. That's the thing, gives you a good reward.
Are they like specially designed instruments, or are they just normal?
Yeah, there are lots of specially designed instruments, and a lot of the children use switches to, I think you've worked, I don't know if any of you have, but I think the school has worked with Fairfield, and they have the instruments that are attached to a switch. So you have, it's just a little round jelly bean switch they call it. That plugs into something which then would make Thomas used to use it. It was a big long board and it had got a drum with a drumstick, a cymbal, and a couple of other instruments, I can't remember, like a triangle or something. And whichever switch he hit, which was plugged into that, that would make the drum bang or whatever. And that was really rewarding for him. But Harry quite likes to actually physically feel the vibrations and the instruments and play. He doesn't like, you know, he likes to be attached to it rather than detached.
And are the sessions, do you like generally do them individually or do you send like in groups?
We do individual ones, and music therapy, it's about about the outcome. It's not about the making the music, although that is really, really important. It's therapy is kind of like attaining something, you know, for the person. So it's quite private, and certainly at school and everything, that's always done privately with the therapist and the child. But at home, we've decided that obviously the family need to see their child having a good time, and then we're creating memories and that kind of thing as well. So, but we are looking at maybe there's a respite place where Harry goes called Camelot Way, and we're looking at maybe going in there and doing some group therapy sessions, which will be quite nice.
And do like families have to pay for the sessions?
No, it's not. But it does cost probably about £35–40 a session.
What would you like us to create? Would you find most beneficial?
I don't know. You've got to think of that.
How many clothes do you have?
We have seen over the 3 years about 25 children, which, you know, it might not seem like a lot to you, but when you've got limited sort of therapists and money, and each child is offered a 4-week assessment period, so the therapist will go in, because I don't think they could assess a child for less than that, see actually if it's working, if it's something that's helping, and then we offer another 10-week session, and then dependent on the waiting list or whatever, we then would have to move on to the next person. But also if we have an emergent, you know, children come to reach the end of their life, and if there's an end of life situation, that, you know, this really could help at that last 2 or 3 days or something, we can then get somebody in really, really quickly. Or if somebody's in a critical sort of stage or whatever, we can get somebody in really quickly and get onto it.
And how do people like get in touch with you, or is it like recommendations?
We've got a website, we've got a telephone number, we do quite a lot with Chronicle and Echo, which is where we get quite a lot of people getting in touch, and it is often word of mouth.
Yeah.
But and often you see the doctors who are involved with the children will know all about Thomas's Fund as well, so they will make referrals, and there are nurses, so they will make referrals, and often it's quite a small world, families with children like ours, people sort of speak to each other and they'll say, have you heard of this and have you heard of that, and so it's that how they get to know about it. No.
Do you think you don't not always focus on Northamptonshire, like?
I think we've decided that we probably would, because we want to keep quite small, because if you do it nice and local, you've got your local businesses who actually, a lot of people like to support charities that they actually know really the money really does go to that charity, it doesn't go to a big office somewhere, and that's the trouble. If you get too big, you often, you know, can't deliver the same thing.
Was it Joanne Hall who created it?
Yes.
Did she have any like experience in music therapy before? Did she come up with?
Yeah, she used to work at Fairfield School in Northampton, and she used to do music therapy sessions there. She's actually got about 20, probably nearly 25 years of experience with working with children, you know, with complex disabilities, and she now works at Rowan Gate School in Welling Borough.